Hey there, folks. Lord Nomadian here. I am just coming to check in. I want to make sure I posted a video today. So I went ahead and I had completely done part 10. Like, I had finished all of it. I had some difficulties, primarily because I installed my Windows I reinstalled my Windows over the weekend. So I had some trouble with that. Well, I was installing the Windows, but I've had troubles with this game since then. For instance, one of the things that I've been bugged out was the fact that I apparently am no longer completely magic resistant, which can't be a problem. But I figured it out. I plan on figuring that out eventually. Probably reinstalling some things, changing some things around. But I ended up recording the entire session, thinking everything was fine. Joke's on me. Halfway through, my audio ended up completely giving out. Well, not my audio, not like the game audio, but like my mic audio just went on the fritz. So sadly, there is a bunch of recording that is no longer available on here anymore. I didn't do too much. All that I did do, I finished robbing the Red Rune Vault. I finished grabbing all the things we left behind, because obviously leaving things behind is never a good thing. We also went ahead and bought the Mark spell from one of the mages in the Vivek guild hall. So now I was able to mark things. I currently have my mark spell set at the Mudcrab Merchant, so I was able to sell a bunch of stuff. And then I went ahead and robbed the Telvanni. I went ahead and robbed the Telvanni treasury as well, which actually took me way longer to find than it should have. I went ahead and I robbed the Halalu one as well. And I deposited most of that money. Oh, and I picked up a few, well, I would consider unique items, because I don't know if any more spawn anywhere else. I thought they were cool, so I picked them up, and I put them in my house. But yeah, so I went ahead, and I made a crap ton of money. I actually still have quite a bit of that money left over. And what I ended up doing was I ended up taking that money, and I ended up making an amulet that fortifies my enchanting skill by 400. Upon basically farming a few more souls, 2 more souls to be exact, after going ahead and making that, because I failed the first time. I did it so I was able to enchant my own items without having to spend more money to make enchantments, because that is ungodly expensive, to keep making constant effect enchantments all the time. So I went ahead and I made an amulet so that I can theoretically make my own enchantments. I failed the first time, however, so that sucked. But I got another one, and I made an amulet that has a constant levitate on it and has a constant health regeneration on it. I haven't done much other than that. I got a few more glass items that I am wearing to increase my overall toughness and whatnot. But yeah, other than making a bunch of money and then making a few enchantment items. Oh, right, and in order to fortify my enchanting skill, I went ahead and I bought a fortify skill spell from the Tribunal expansion. So I hopped in there real fast just to go ahead and make a spell, or not make the spell, but be able to enchant the item to have that effect. But regardless, all of that was lost, sadly. So instead, for today's video, instead of having a part 10, since part 10 failed, I'm going to go ahead and do part 10 tomorrow. Today's video, instead, is going to be about a very common exploit known as the Soul Trap exploit. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to potentially ruin your game immediately by making the game simply just too easy. So, because I now have the spell that fortifies attributes and fortifies a skill, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to basically increase your stats, not necessarily permanently, but doesn't really raise them. So as a requirement for leveling up your skills for various different factions. This doesn't count, but your skills will technically be permanently raised to that point. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go to the spell maker here. I don't think I do have Fortify Health and Magicka. Perfect. So if I take Fortify Magicka on self, actually we don't want that to be the first effect. My bad. We want Soul Trap on target, 1 second. That's all we want. We then can have Fortify Magicka on self, 100 points for 1 second. Normally, the spell effect would fortify your Magicka for like no seconds. There's no point in casting the spell. Who cares? So we're just gonna go ahead and have Perma Mana. That will be the name of the spell. We're gonna buy it. Only costs 80 gold to make, but who cares? We don't care because watch this. We're gonna go ahead and equip the spell. And if you look, come on. If you look, we have 105 mana. Casting the spell is going to cost 11 mana. So, we should have about 104 mana. Well, not 104, 94 mana upon casting the spell. But what's going to happen, as long as that Soul Trap does not hit a single target, the secondary effect is permanent. It's a permanent effect. So, even though it's a Fortify Magic effect, it's basically going to add 100 extra points of mana permanently. So, upon casting it, boom. Extra 100 points of mana. And we can repetitively keep casting this over and over and over and over again. See, look at that. I now have 400 mana. So, I would theoretically never run out of mana.
Greetings to you, Breton.
If we made that same spell, but let's say Soul Trap on target for 1 point, we're going to go ahead and have Fortify Mana for 100 points. We're going to add it again. Oh, we've already added it. Actually, we can add it twice. Imagine. I forgot they patched that out. Not a problem. We're going to have Fortify Health instead. For 1 second. Perfect. Perma Mana plus Health. I don't know why I keep adding a second N in that. So, we're going to buy that spell. We have even less of a chance of casting the spell, but who cares, because we're going to go ahead and cast it anyways. Look at that, an extra 100 hit points, extra 100 mana. And we can just keep repetitively casting the spell. Of course, we failed casting the spell. We're not going to always 100% succeed in casting it until our restoration gets up. But at this point, no one is ever going to go ahead and be able to kill us, and we're going to run out of mana if we keep casting the spell. It does cost 21 mana to cast, but obviously, who cares? Because we get more mana, we get more net mana out of it. This also will affect other things as well. So if we go ahead and have Soul Trap on target for 1 point, we're going to go ahead and fortify... You know what? Let's fortify our athletics. On self, 100 points. We're going to buy that spell. We'll go ahead and
What have we here?
cast that spell, making sure that, again, doesn't target anybody. And our athletics has just jumped to 123. Normally, if I wasn't fucking levitating, hold on, let's take the amulet off. I know, it's pretty fucking fast. And I'm gonna keep getting faster every time I cast the spell. As you can see, it's pretty hard to direct this, but look at that. Of course, if I jump, I don't move very fast because my acrobatics isn't very high. So, if we were to go ahead, obviously, I wouldn't recommend doing this several times. Not only is it extraordinarily hard to control, but eventually, if you go fast enough, you glitch through walls, and that's a pretty quick way to die, or just completely ruin that particular save. So again, Soul Trap on target. We're gonna fortify skill. We're gonna fortify our acrobatics on self by 100 points. Perma jump We'll just name the spell. Who cares? Obviously, spell name doesn't actually matter. We're gonna go ahead and cast that. I failed to cast it. Not a problem. Ooh, wow. Look at that. It's like our acrobatics is also really fucking high. So we're gonna go ahead and proceed to run and jump all the way across over here. Because our acrobatics is as high as it is, we don't take fall damage. So I'm just gonna go ahead and jump all over here. Like nothing. Oh, my acrobatics increased. Who would have thought? Like, it's just not even close to fair. I could just jump wherever the hell I want. Definitely be a little hard to keep up with the momentum. But that is just 2 effects I raised. That is 2 skills I raised. Obviously, it's not limited to just skills. If I go ahead and... oh, Jesus Christ. If I go ahead and, let's say, we're going to go ahead and... No, we'll do shield. We'll do shield. Soul Trap on target. Shield on self for 100 points, let's say. Perma armor. We're going to buy that. Go ahead and run right on over. And let's say we take off everything we have in our inventory. Taking off everything. We have no reason to wear it, right? We have an armor of 2, because that's based off of our unarmored rating, right? So we have 2 armor without wearing any armor. Well, if I cast a spell, my armor's now 102. We keep casting it. Oh, I failed that time. I have an armor of 102 now. Obviously, at some point, it does cap out. Also, I'm losing speed, by the way. I still stay floating off the ground
How interesting.
for quite a bit.
Aren't you a sight?
But if we go ahead and we do the same thing, Soul Trap on target for 1 point, let's say we want to fortify an attribute instead. Let's go ahead and fortify our speed. We don't want to rely on the boots of speed. We want to just be able to move fast as fuck all the time. Speed. So, we'll go ahead and we activate our perma speed. Cast the spell. 1, 2, 3. We have a speed of 300. Oh wow, look at that, we're fast as fuck again. And we're always going to be that fast. Let's hit the caps lock key, and then, of course, I'm going to be walking. But I'm going to be walking this fast. Running, I am literally fast as fuck. No one's ever going to be able to catch up to me ever. There are other spell effects we can have with this. Obviously, we can fortify our strength, so we can literally carry an infinite amount of weight. We can go ahead and proceed to one-shot anything. Strength, obviously, have to be careful with that, because if your strength is high enough, you are going to go ahead and one-shot every single thing in the game. Sure, absolutely. But your weapon will also deteriorate and break faster. So if you have your strength high enough, not only will you proceed to one-shot anything, but you will also cause your weapon to disintegrate as well. Other attributes, obviously, intelligence is great because it's a bunch of mana. Which you can raise anyways, so kind of useless, but it allows you to make your potions more accurately. You can enchant things better. Fortifying your luck makes you the luckiest motherfucker ever. So that's not a bad thing. Personality, every single person's going to like you in the game. As a matter of fact, if you raise your personality too high, even various different NPCs, like bandits, won't attack you, because you screw with the reaction to you. Endurance is a bunch of hit points, so who cares about that, because you can also raise your health on that point too. Speed, you become so fast that you glitch through walls. Agility, nothing's ever going to be able to hit you, but obviously you can raise your armor, so who cares about that either. Also, infinite health, so who cares. Willpower, you're going to be able to cast all your spells effectively. Basically, your spells will not fail, but you can raise each individual magical skill anyways, so who cares. Take that with caution. Raising any of those too much will screw your game up. You can raise your chameleon up to 100%, Only problem is Chameleon also makes it so that no one will ever be able to see you ever. So if you have permanent 100% Chameleon, nobody will ever be able to talk to you again. You literally will screw yourself out of the game. Don't do it. Permanently bound items, if you go ahead and cast those, eventually they'll break, and you will not be able to drop them because you cannot drop bound items. So your inventory will be cluttered with a bunch of weightless things in your inventory. That can be a pain in the ass. Permanent levitate, you will never be able to sleep. I mean, also have permanent levitation, which is cool, but you'll never be able to sleep or wait while it's currently active. But, I mean, permanently flying, so, I mean, that's cool, I guess. Permanent Sanctuary makes you harder to hit. No matter what, things will still be things will have a higher than 100% chance to hit you, so to cast it multiple times. But then you'll never ever level up your various different armor skills unless you train them. Summoning ghosts, or summoning things we've already tested that and we do use in our regular playthrough. The rest of these I'm obviously not going to actually use in a regular playthrough. It makes the game way too way too easy. There's like no challenge. You can have permanent water walking. You have permanent water breathing. I wouldn't recommend doing the water breathing or the water walking because certain quests require you specifically to drown yourself. I won't say which quest, but there is a quest in the game that requires you to drown yourself. You can have permanent damage to yourself if you're dumb. You can also permanently damage an attribute. I wouldn't recommend permanently damaging an attribute. Temporarily damaging an attribute? Absolutely, yes, sure. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. Especially if you want to temporarily damage your intelligence. Temporarily damaging your intelligence will go ahead and if you can get your intelligence to 0, it has your maximum mana be 0. And because of the game's coding, you were technically, if you were 0 out of 0, you were at full mana. So let's say, for instance, I have no mana left, or I have barely any mana left. If I damage my intelligence to 0, and then after spell effect ends, my intelligence goes back to whatever it was, it will completely refill my magic bar. So that is an exploit used to completely restore your mana. Obviously, I instead take advantage of summoning the ghost instead, but there are different ways to completely restore your mana. This game is absolutely meant to be abused. Other effects you can go ahead and do. Sanctuary, restore health, will constantly regenerate your health. Again, I just stick with fortifying. There's no reason not to. You can fortify your stamina, your fatigue as well, so you'll literally never run out of fatigue. At any point in time, you start running out of mana, because technically this is not permanent mana, so all the spells have costs, I slowly start losing my mana. I can just keep casting the spell again, keep refreshing it, not a problem. For the sake of... it'll say maximum proficiency has been reached, but for the sake of joining a faction, my acrobatics is still only 38. So do keep that in mind. You still do have to work on your skills. If you want to go ahead and lower your resistances or raise your resistances permanently, you can do that as well. You might be thinking, why would I want to lower my resistances? Well, at some point in the game, you become 100% resistant to a certain effect, and if, let's say, for instance, you want to become a vampire, your resistances given to you by the game would make it impossible to become a vampire without lowering your stats. So if you want to become a vampire and do the vampire quests, you would have to find a way to lower your resistance to disease, for instance. You can permanently increase your jump, not necessarily your acrobatics, but as an actual jump spell. There's several effects that you can go ahead and just completely raise permanently with the Soul Trap effect. So that is obviously one way to... Oh, shit. Well, sorry, lady, let me wait for me to come back down. So if we go ahead and let's Soul Trap on target for 1 second. That's specifically, you had to do it. It has to be the first effect of the spell. It has to be Soul Trap for 1 point on target. Target is very specific here. The second effect, we're going to go ahead and fortify our strength, let's say, on self for maximum potential. Morrowind. That's a fun spell name. We'll have it that. So we're gonna go ahead and cast our permanent steroids. So let's cast it into the ground since I can't apparently aim my character properly.
Clearly, you are an idiot.
Just because I'm not wearing any clothes doesn't mean I'm an idiot. Jesus Christ. Okay, fine. I'm wearing a robe. There. So now with our super strength. Oh right, we can carry 2,300 pounds now. Let's go ahead and use our Saint spell. Wow. All these cool golden Atronachs that we have summoned. They're not gonna be able to kill me. I can just keep giving myself hit points. And because of my increased... I leveled up. Wow, that's so important. Because of my increased strength, I'm going to go ahead and be able to hit them more reliably, and I'm going to go ahead and do more damage to them. Look at that. Completely obliterated them. I still have 100 hit points left. They actually did a lot of damage, but that's not a problem, because I can just go ahead and raise it right back. Unless I fail at casting the spell. Look at that, 500 hit points. You know what, let's bring it to 1,000. And that will bring it over 1,000. Busted. So now I have all this free loot that I can just quickly get instead of kind of working for it like I currently have on my current playthrough. Oh, look at that, we're gonna go ahead and summon some more souls. Wow. Well, that one didn't work. But, you know what, actually, let's go ahead and let's show a potential idea here. We're going to go ahead and Soul Trap, again, because, you know, that's the basis of this. We're going to fortify skill. Skill we're going to go ahead and fortify is Mysticism. Perma Mystic. I didn't spell that right. There we go. Buy that. We're then going to go ahead and absorb health. Untouched, because we don't want that shit to be reflected. If you have it on target, the game bugs out. And you take a crap ton of damage for some reason. The scripts are broken on that. So we're going to have it untouched still. 100 points. A big area of effect. Yeah, that's a little overkill. You know what, we'll just have it like that. That's fine. Yeah, it's fine. We'll keep it like that. Vampiric. Boom, I guess. Sure. We bought that. Let's actually go ahead and cast our Perma Mystic spell a few times.
This is unexpected, but not unwelcome. Please go ahead.
Dope. So now I should have a super high mysticism, because it is temporary technically. I didn't get any skill ups from that. But now if I go to spell making and I have absorb health, untouch naturally, my spell chance to cast a spell is still pretty fucking high. Obviously not that high. Okay, hold on. So I can have it for 14 seconds and vampiric explosion. Wow. Expensive spell, but because I have a super high mysticism, I can cast it, so who cares? Look at all these little golden saints. They have absolutely no idea what's going to happen. I think I spelled explosion wrong. You know what? I don't care. That one must have reflected it. Oh, I don't have enough mana. I forgot. The spell costs 610 mana, so we'd have to obviously go ahead and give ourselves some mana real fast. Of course, naturally I failed in casting the spell. How rude. So obviously for a setup spell like this, I fucking missed. Clearly this might be the best course of action here. Wow. You know, that's good enough. That it serves for the point of our demonstration here. Look at that. And every single second, she's getting to 100 points drained. Boom. All of these bitches is dead. So if I were to go into the middle of town, let's go ahead and gather up some mana real fast.
Don't press your luck. You're on your honor.
You know, it's funny you should say that. There we go. I think I still need more mana than that, actually. Perfect. Got my vampiric explosion.
I will
Who's this
listen
guy?
and make it happen next time.
Resist arrest. I don't care. Dang. What just happened? Everyone died. Wow. So obviously it's a lot of setup going on in here, but that's literally the whole point of why the soul trap glitch is just busted. There is nothing stopping me from literally jumping in the middle of a bunch of enemies and casting that spell, because I have a bunch of health. I'm not going anywhere. I'm actually going to quit raising my health. At some point, it will turn into negatives. That's an instant death. Look at these poor guards. They want to arrest me. Oh, I missed. That is a shame, actually.
Get in! You're dead already.
No, I'm resisting the law. My bounty's only 2,000 gold.
You will die where you stand!
Listen, you guys literally can't hurt me. Oh, the spell is technically interrupted. Oh, that's a shame. I don't think that technically counts because... Wow. I mean, it's also a good way to naturally level up your skills. Imagine that. How are you gonna knock me down? There we go. Another huge portion of the town just completely fucking dead. Look at these guys. These guys think they're cool.
This scent is new.
Oh, notorious outlaw. Pff, I'm not sure who's reporting my crimes. I'm literally killing everybody. Wow.
descend.
You Inma.
Ugh, I know. How dare I? Not that it matters, because everyone's dead again. Except for them. Okay, maybe not everyone's dead, but a lot of people are dead. Like, this exploit completely ruins any fun you might have in playing this game. This is why I don't take advantage of the Soul Trap exploit. Granted, you might tell yourself, oh yeah, I'd only go ahead and want to go ahead and, you know, use it like a few times, you know. I'd only want to raise my strength by like maybe 20 points, you know. Something so things are manageable. Or maybe I want to go ahead and just, you know, use it as a weird temporary healing spell. It does. It ruins the game for you. I mean, obviously, if you want to roleplay as, you know, this overpowered god man, this is the way to do it. There is no... I'm not going to deny that. But, look at that. I've just completely cut across the country. But there's no challenge to the game now. With this character, I am now completely busted. But, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, look at that. I'm just going to hop all the way across. Oh, hey, here's the ghost fence that keeps me away from the volcano in the middle of the island. Why does the ghost fence exist? I'll explain that when we get there. But look at that. I'm just going to hop in here. Just going to start getting dusty and ash stormy because the game's now just starting to realize that, hey, wait a minute, you're literally in the middle of you're going to the middle of the volcano. Oh, dang, look at that. We're getting all ash stormy up here. Wow. Gonna start wandering around the middle of the volcano. Oh, dang, what's in the middle here? This cool fort thing. Wow, this is so cool. This is all so important later on. But nothing's a challenge to me anymore because I can just literally leap up here. So, yeah. This is, this does definitely take the fun out of the game. You know, nothing here can stop me. Oh, hey, look. There's some bad guys right here. I'm just gonna go ahead and walk over and just smack them dead. So, there you go, folks. That is the Soul Trap exploit glitch. Also, how to make your character super busted and unable to die. I hope you all enjoyed. Tomorrow, I will hopefully not have my recording glitch out on me. Yeah. So, you all have a wonderful, fantastic rest of your day, and hopefully tomorrow will be the actual part 10. Bye.